Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Ms. Carranza and Mr. Grice's Algebra 2 class. Today we are going to be talking about Chapter 1.4. These are our notes. Part 2. Okay, we are still talking about different sets of numbers. All right, so yesterday we were talking about different rational and irrational numbers and putting numbers on the number line. Today we're going to be talking about absolute values and additive inverse. Okay, so first word that I just threw out there was the additive inverse. Okay, now hopefully everyone here, you guys should know by now what this word means, or at least what it starts with. Okay, because what it starts with is what the word means, and that is to add. Now, anytime you see the word invoice or inverse, what we want you to be thinking there is opposite. Okay, so opposite, or the other word would be to cancel, like inverse operations. So what the definition of the additive inverse is the additive inverse are numbers that are the same distance away from 0. So on a number line, if I want 4, my additive inverse would be -4. Or if we want -3 1/2, it would be +3 1/2. Okay? All right, let's go through some examples. -9. What is the additive inverse of -9? That is 9. The additive inverse of +5 is -5. 3/4, it's going to be a -3/4. And for D, -8.375, that would be a +8.375. Right, let's look at our next word. We talked about absolute value. Now, the absolute value is the distance a number is from, oh, my wife's calling. Hold on, guys. So sorry about that interruption, guys. But anyways, absolute value is the distance a number is from 0. Now, key thing right here is we are talking about distance. When you draw a number line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the distance that -4 is 1, 2, 3. It is 4 spots away. Okay? The same thing right here with 3, 2, 3. Whenever we're talking about distance, okay, how far something is, distance is always a positive number. Even if I drove 5 miles in the wrong direction, you still drove 5 miles and you can't take those miles off of your car. Okay? Now, absolute value, you're always going to see those big lines. Those are just the absolute value symbols. So the absolute value of 6 I want to know how many spots is 6 away from 0. And that is 6 spots. Now, our next one, -6. How many spots is -6 away from 0? Well, it's not -6 because it's a distance. It's 6 spots. Okay? No matter what number's inside, it comes out positive. Oh, we just did B. C. Even when we're working with fractions or decimals, okay, it doesn't matter. Whatever's inside is going to turn positive. Now, let's get to some of the tricky ones. We have the number 3, but there's a negative on the outside. Now, what this negative sign is saying is the opposite. So, what is the opposite of the absolute value of 3? Well, the absolute value of 3 is 3, but I want to know what the opposite of that is. So that's what makes it -3. Okay, same with this next one. We have the negative out front. So what is the opposite of the absolute value of -2? Okay, so the absolute value of -2, is 2, but the opposite of that is -2. So the key thing to remember here is if the negative is outside, it affects your answer. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for our notes today on chapter 1.4, section 2 on the additive inverse and absolute value. If you guys have any questions or need any help, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Thanks, guys.